Welcome back. I got some putting tips for you today. Um, I'm regarded as a decent putter in my area. I'm just going to show what I've learned and what helped me get better and better as I went. All right, the first tip is to start with 20 footer or 15 to 20 feet and just really get those down. Make it to where if you're 20 feet and in, that's a tap in your mind. That'll really help you with going for longer putts and just knowing like, hey, if it goes 20 feet past the basket, that's okay. That's in. It just really helps you mentally. It's just, especially even off the tee, it's like, hey, I don't have to get to the basket. I just have to get within 20 feet, and that's a tap in. So really just get those 20 footers in. Forget about 20 to 30. That really doesn't matter until you're getting into that MA1 range. The second tip, which is going to be more of like a how to putt tip, whether it's a spin or a push putt, just worry about the release point. And I'm going to show you that right here. So, like they say, shake hands with the basket. What they're saying is release point is what matters. So, my release point, I'm going to aim for about 3 chain links down from the top. As you can see, my release point was pretty consistent. And that's what you want to have a consistently good putt. Now, I recommend push putting. There's a lot of good pros that are good at push putting, or push putting, I guess you could say. You got Gannon Buhr, who is probably the best at that. I guess you could say Ricky as well, but Ricky uses a lot of his legs. I don't know. I don't know what Ricky's putt is really, but Gannon is the prime example of like you don't have to spin putt to get crazy distance on your putts. You just have to give it the height. When it comes to spin putting, again, it's all about the release point. I've tried spin putting here and there. If I'm in a bush or something and I can't get that full range of motion, just being able to flick it out there. So I've tried it, and release point. It's all about release point. So I'll show you that. I'm going to come here and just stop my hand on the basket. I'm not as good at that, but I made all 3. Tip number 3 that really helps me if you're a push putter is to, this can be different for everybody, but I kept missing low. I couldn't get my putt to the basket from 30 feet out. Height is what matters if you're a push putter. So what I did was I picked a spot on the basket that got me there every time at 30 feet. And when I went to 25, I picked a spot that was a little lower on the basket. When I got to 20, a little lower. 15, a little lower. If you're in a tournament, you can, or casual round even, whatever, you step up to the putt. This looks about 25 feet. So I'm going to aim here on the basket. What I found is just gives you a sense of confidence as well. It's all about confidence. You think in your head, hey, if I hit this spot on the basket, or I aim at this spot on the basket like I've been practicing, it's going to go in. So I'll show you that as well. Let me try to get a little further out. So 20 feet, I usually aim around like the bottom third of the basket of the chains. And I hit that right there. All right, let's get about 25 or 22, 25, about there. All right, now when I aimed just a little higher. So that one I aimed just below the band, maybe 2 links down. All right, I don't know if you can see me on that one. All right, so let's get to about 30. Yeah, I'd say it's about 30. Let me give another step back. So now I'm going to aim for the band. There you go. The 4th tip I've got for you is on your downswing to really take your time. It's not, I've found that the putter actually leaves my hand faster the slower I go and let it just kind of pop out the last second instead of trying to go like this, like aim, You know what I mean? You think that's fast, but it's not. So I'll show you a fast one, then I'll show you a slow one. I mean, I made it, but it's just not. I can put the same amount of pace on it by doing it slow. Much more controlled. All day. The fifth tip I've got for you, which I feel like everybody says, is stop changing your putter. It's not the putter. I used to putt with Wardens. I just kind of wanted different plastics for hand feel. So I started going through different putters, and that was the worst I ever did with putting. It did help me find what I think now is going to be my forever putter, which is the PA3, but I'm putting with PA3s is my point, and I'm still good. It has nothing to do with the putter. I was good with Wardens, which are, you know, straight to understable, and now I'm good with PA3s, which are overstable. It's about learning the disc. It's not about which disc it is. Maybe for spin putting, it might be a little different. You might want something more overstable for spin putting. Generally speaking, what I've found is that the putter doesn't matter. It's the person putting. And I'll prove that right now. I've got a beat up, chewed up dog toy. It's a DX Colt. And I'm going to show you that it doesn't matter what you're putting with. It's probably like 22 feet. Doesn't matter. And the sixth and final tip, this isn't for everybody, but this is if you are having the problems that like Calvin Heimberg has. Recently, I found something that works for me for not hitting the cage. And I'm going to demonstrate what I was doing before, and then I'm going to demonstrate what I did to fix it and show you how it works. So before, this was me. Cage. What I did to fix that was I was watching a video of a tournament I was playing, and my girlfriend happened to get a few of the putts I putted. That tournament I putted 100% in C1. And I'm not talking about 20 footers. I'm talking about 25, 30, 22, 20. I mean, sure, some 15 footers, but not all short putts. And I'll even put the clip right here. And what I noticed was that I wasn't going like this. Like, you think you want to use just your arm. You want to make it so simple, but I realized that in the video, I was coming down, my head was coming up and down with the putter. It was a whole body motion instead of just this. And that's really helped me a lot. Actually, it's helped me a lot with height control. So the release point, like I was saying earlier, and it's just helped me not miss low. So if your problem is missing low, I promise you, this will probably fix your putt if you're doing what I'm saying. So let me demonstrate what that looks like now. Down, up. And that's also really helped me get some distance on my putt as well, even from outside of the circle. So let me demonstrate that for you.
Call me Elf one more time.
Demonstrate. All right, we're about 30 feet right here. I'm going to show you what I used to do and what I do now. So it's low. I aimed for the chains like I was saying before. It's hard to get the power in the, I don't even know how to say it, like feng shui of the putt. Now I'll do what I do now. MVP. That was a dead center chain out. I'm not sure if I said tip 6 was the final tip, but tip 7 is the final tip. Tip 7 is to, when you're practice putting, don't just chuck the disc at the basket. If you miss a putt, think about why you missed it. If you miss a putt right, and then you think about it and you know, oh, hey, I did this, and it fixes your putt, that's something you bring in a tournament. If you're having a day where you're just missing right every time, you can say, oh yeah, that mental cue helped me. Whether it's I put my back foot behind my right foot, and that helped me putt straight instead of to the right. Now in the tournament, instead of putting the whole round to the right and getting frustrated, now you can fix your putt in the middle of the tournament without messing up the rest of your game. An example of this actually was I was in a tournament in Panama City, and like I said, I'm usually a really good putter, but for whatever reason, I couldn't make a 15-footer, and they were just all going to the right. Not that bad, but like, like that. And what I did to fix it was I realized that it's all about release point. So I realized when I was coming up to the top of my release, I was kind of finishing out like that instead of finishing up like that. So that's just an example of a problem I had and how I fixed it.